Major One Punch Man Season 3 news coming out here today. We finally got the staff list for One Punch Man Season 3, including the director, who you guys are not going to believe this, okay? This dude directs hentai, or at least he has done it before in the past. Apparently it was like 12 years ago. But the Fubuki and Tatsumaki scenes are gonna be out of this world. You know that much, right, boys? So you know how I told you yesterday that the season is coming out October 5th? No, the first episode of Season 3 will be a recap of Season 2. Like, that is just going to infuriate fans. So we're not going to get episode 1 until October 12th. This marketing team, dude, is the literal worst. So he finally comes out and introduces himself and says some peculiar things here. He's trying to give us some confidence, but at the same time, he seems like he's really struggling and has like way too much pressure on his shoulders. So he says he's a freelancer. At 37 years old, he wrapped up his apprenticeship and stepped into the anime world. He learned how to create hybrid animation with 3D in a project called Aquarion Logos. After that, he switched to a 3D company for just a year, contributing to image boards for Altered Carbon. I was aiming for a hybrid of 3D CG and hand-drawn animation, but as everyone knows, Man Globe ended up closing down. In the midst of all that, JC Staff became a long-term partner, commissioning me for storyboards and direction throughout the year. However, I'm relatively unknown and don't have standout achievements as an animator. I thought I might give it a bad impression, so I asked to keep it under wraps. So that's the reason, like, they've been so quiet about this, because he's pretty much new to the action anime scene, and they didn't want to tell us that they have essentially an amateur director coming in for Season 3. So when the consultation for Season 3 came up, he focused on incorporating a new workflow, something I discussed in CG World, bringing 3D and 2D workflows to squeeze out even one more second of production time. Now that line alone is extremely concerning to me, and I even posted on X, that line has me a little bit concerned. And I started getting attacked by people like, there's nothing wrong with being a concerned fan. I wasn't hating on the guy or anything, but bridging 2D and 3D workflows, the reason why that's concerning, the fans of One Punch Man fell in love with Season 1, which was primarily 2D animation. They got upset at Season 2 because it wasn't as good of animation as Season 1. So if for Season 3, the reason they're so quiet is because it's like a 2.5D hybrid, like Dragon Ball Super Superhero, fans are gonna lose it, man. Like, you're gonna cripple the series, but for whatever reason, it seems like their production is so struggling that they brought this guy on as a freelancer to help them with a lot of this 3D modeling, or at least turning the 3D to make it look 2D, or whatever they're gonna do here. But yeah, that really does have me concerned, guys, and there's nothing wrong with being a concerned fan. You're hiding this from us, you're hiding the director, and the potential that a lot of this entire season might be CG, which is going to potentially destroy the property. And I'm saying that not as someone who will stop watching if it's 2.5D, but I know this fan base extremely well. I know the anime industry fan base extremely well, and they're just very resistant to 3D and CGI, especially when the original source was 2D. I mean, it's the same thing with Dragon Ball. We grew up on 2D Dragon Ball. When they start giving us 3D Dragon Ball, people lost their minds. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with being concerned about this. I don't think we should jump the gun and say it's crap without seeing anything yet. I mean, we've seen a couple PVs in the Garo trailer. None of that really looked like 2.5D, so maybe none of that is actually anime footage and they're all just promotional videos. We gotta find out here pretty soon. Still don't have the trailer, but unfortunately this director, Shin Nagi, he seems like he is breaking down, dude. Like, it just seems crazy out here. There's just too much pressure on him. It seems like he's not sleeping and he's taking medication, and my goodness, guys. So please, like, don't go on Twitter and be rude to this guy. You haven't even seen Season 3 yet. At least sit on your hands and zip your mouth shut until we get a trailer. I mean, but I really don't like how everybody's just jumping the gun and attacking this guy. Me saying I'm concerned isn't an attack. It's just being a concerned fan. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know how people are on Twitter. But he's been in this realm for, I guess, 10 to 15 years. But relatively, when it comes to action anime, he's pretty amateur. So he says, I'm a director who specializes in romantic comedies and short anime. I've never worked on action projects like One Punch Man. Considering all that, don't you think the probability of me being chosen is close to zero? Ozawa-san is the only person I've known for over 10 years with whom I can vent my complaints. I'm sorry for not meeting your expectations. So I think he knew as soon as he revealed himself on Twitter, he was going to get barraged by a lot of this like negative super fan feedback. You guys know the anime fans, like those true diehard ones, they'll attack anybody. They'll attack the director, they'll attack the creator, the writer. It doesn't matter, man. They go nuts. And I think he knew there's so many passionate fans for One Punch Man. As soon as he reveals himself, he's going to get attacked. And it seems like he is. And he's already so stressed out that maybe this was just like he couldn't handle it. But I mean, why reveal yourself now? I mean, why open yourself up to it now? Before we even have a trailer? It's a little strange to me. I guess he's just shy about, you know, the spotlight is on the guy. The pressure is really on this guy. And if One Punch Man season 3 fails, if it doesn't even do as good as season 2, I mean, this guy's career is probably over. So this is like kind of make or break for him. And you got to feel for him. All that pressure in a kind of new medium, it's going to be tough. The other thing he says is we are dedicating all the technology we possess to making the best series possible. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of CG, guys. I mean, we assumed that Orochi would be CG because he's way too detailed. Hopefully that's all it is. Hopefully it's just Orochi as CG and everything else is 2D. I'd be fine with that, but we'll have to see. Still no trailer. They are definitely hiding something from us. And so you guys can take a look at some of the other staff here. I took the liberty of looking some of them up, and with the exception of a couple of them, like Kubota was the original character designer, a lot of these guys seem pretty amateur or like new to the scene. And it's just extremely peculiar to me with all this hype surrounding One Punch Man season 3 that JC staff got picked again. They put like an amateur team, an amateur director, at least in terms of for an action anime, which requires intense animation. Now, the thing is, the director doesn't animate. They draw the storyboard, which is like the layout, so that the animators themselves can get a grasp, an idea for how the scene is supposed to look visually. That's the director's job. They pretty much draw like in a sloppy sketch on a storyboard, and then the animators, who we still don't know what animators we have, besides Aoki, who's very talented, which is also a little concerning. We don't know the animators yet, and they're probably the most important staff of this entire list. But it's a little peculiar. You have like essentially like a CG expert directing a 2D anime that has a lot of pressure on it. I really don't want to jump the gun and start bashing the season and this production, but I'm definitely concerned. I'm definitely a concerned fan. Like, they're showing us these PNGs and it's like, great, people are making a big deal out of the character visuals, but like there really should have been a trailer a long time ago. And I think that the management of at least the marketing for this season has been extremely poor. The marketing, this is like literally the worst marketing for a mainstream anime I've ever seen. Like, even worse than the Dragon Ball Super movies and Daima and everything. Like, this is just really bad marketing. Like, the company does not know how to build hype. The fact that they're not showing footage has me concerned that the majority of the season might be like, it might be some CGI season of One Punch Man, and then we're totally cooked. But in any case, we got all these other cool looking visuals and everything, and that's great, but I think everybody really is just starving for some anime footage. Now that they're starting to release all of this information in the staff list, I think there's a pretty good chance we'll get the trailer this month, any day now. Please don't go harass the staff. Just wait and see, you know, how the season is. Don't harass them anyway, even if the season is bad. Don't harass them. I'm sure they'll get enough as it is. There's a lot of pressure on these guys, and I'm sure they're doing their best. I think it's not really JC staff's fault. I think this is more so the fault of the production committee and the managerial choices behind the launch of this season. Okay, so if you're bashing the animation staff, a lot of this is probably not even their fault. Anyways, we'll have to see when the trailer comes out, but that's why you should be subscribed with notifications on, because I will be making that video as soon as it comes out.